Hello, thank you for joining us. I'm Jason Sims. I'm the Administration Lead for the British Society of Animal Science. And with me, I'm pleased to be able to be joined by Eileen, the President of BSAS, and Vice President Micheal. We'd like to just cover off some questions, key questions concerning the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic and its effect on the sector. The British Society of Animal Sciences scope runs from pioneering research, typically through academia, right the way through to implementation in production. May I ask, what kind of impact has the COVID-19 epidemic had across the sector? Eileen, perhaps you could start.
Yeah, so obviously we're all living in challenging times, and that's across the sector, from industry all the way through to research, but also our students, and we need to bear in mind that they themselves are going through slight unknowns about how exams will be done. You know, if you're a PhD student, what's the impact in terms of experiments that you're having of what could be a short or a long-term interruption to normal practice? So we're all working really hard to identify solutions for each of those scenarios. Our sector, particularly our industry sector, is really coming together to make sure food supply stays in the road. So that's primary production and those working post-farm gate. And we're all working together to give them sort of key information to help that happen, as well as our own research farms being part of that food supply chain. And that was one of the first things we sorted out, was how our farms were going to run, making sure we were maintaining animal welfare, but also our key role in providing food to the communities out there. So we're working hard. There's lots of answers. Bear with us all. And I think all of our members, individual and organisations, we're there to bounce ideas off each other as well. So what we've learned in closing down one experiment versus keeping others going, we're happy to share experiences.
And Micheal, how's it been from your perspective?
So, as you know, BSAS covers a whole range of animal science, from companion animals all the way through to livestock sector. The research around companion animals is coming really to the fore, because the importance during the time where we're having physical isolation for individuals, and it's important to say physical, not social isolation, because we need to support everybody, and the importance that companion animals can have during this time. Having pets at home is a really important component. So obviously the research that BSAS is doing within companion animals is really at the fore and important during this time. And as Eileen's already indicated, within the livestock sector, there's many, many challenges. And farmers, of course, cannot just go in and physically isolate. They still have animals to look after and food to produce. So they are doing a fantastic job. In terms of the science that we do, we have research farms, as Eileen indicates, and we still have to ensure that the animals' welfare is covered first and foremost. But it also shows and indicates that the challenges that are within our agricultural sector, because we see snapshots of that in academia. We have to look at what experiments need to stop to protect the individuals, the students, the scientists, the technicians during this time, but also critically working with UKRI and other funders, which experiments should continue during this time. Because it's important that this gives us a huge opportunity to collect information that otherwise would not be available, particularly if we're looking at air quality and emissions. You know, even though obviously the challenges of this awful pandemic are huge, but there are also opportunities to see what is happening in terms of anthropogenic emissions, because we are stopping virtually society and a lot of activities that are happening at industry, particularly, for example, air travel. So what is the implications that will have on the environment? And put that into context then in terms of what's happening within rural and urban society. So yeah, there are great challenges. The scientific community is feeling this across the piece, as indeed all other sectors are. But there are also opportunities for the scientists to help develop information that would not otherwise be available.